What's up, everyone? I hope you're having a great day so far today. Today, we're going to be talking about Space Jam: A New Legacy and the insanity surrounding it, and some new comments that just came out recently from the director of the original Space Jam, and he has some very brutal words to say about the film. He definitely doesn't shy from talking about some of the awful things with this film, and yes, Space Jam: A New Legacy is an awful film. It is basically just a discount version of the first one with a lot more cringe, and it's just an awful film, and it does not hold up at all in comparison to the original. The original is a timeless classic. It is a film that will continue to be a mark in movie history and a film that people will continue to remember. Space Jam: A New Legacy will not have that same type of impact. And right off the bat, the biggest thing that downgrades the new film from the original is the fact that it doesn't have Michael Jordan in it. That already is a huge and dramatic downgrade, especially when you're expecting LeBron James to be in comparison to Michael Jordan. There is no comparison there, and that is what one of the things is that Joe Pitka talks about here. So we're going to be getting into that. Before we do, I do have a sponsor for this video. I want to thank The Coldest Water for sponsoring this video. This is the best water bottle that I've ever had, and I think that you guys should definitely check it out. It is an incredible water bottle. I just filled it up with water and ice recently, and it continues to keep your drinks cold for up to 36 hours, and that is an incredible thing. I drink solely from this water bottle now whenever I need water, and the great thing about it is that because it keeps my drinks cold for so long, I drink way more water now than I've ever had in my life, and that is a good thing. Like, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That is an amazing thing, and it is because of this water bottle. I don't know what it is, but something about this bottle encourages me to drink way more water than I typically do. I'm someone who loves to have ice cold water all the time, and this water bottle accomplishes that for me. Not only that, but you can get them in all different sizes and stuff. You can get them that fit cup holders. They float in water and pools and everything else, so you don't have to worry about losing your bottle. It is a great odor-free, odor-resistant bottle that I think you guys should check out. Links are in the description of this video, so make sure that you go check out The Coldest Water Bottle, and I promise that you won't regret it. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into these comments from Joe Pitka, the director of the original Space Jam. You never want to see your baby grow up to be a messy 2-hour-long commercial for Warner Brothers intellectual property. Yikes. Yikes. Joe Pitka, the director of the original 1996 Space Jam, has seen the brand new sequel, Space Jam: A New Legacy, and he has a lot to say about the film in an interview with TMZ. Very little of it is nice, and deservedly so, because the film is garbage. According to the interview, the director required 5 separate sessions to complete the 2-hour runtime of Space Jam: A New Legacy. Oh, man. I can only imagine the type of cringe and pain and the regret of the self-torment he was putting himself through watching that movie. It must have been awful, man. I can't even imagine. The director cited a number of issues with the film. A number, yeah. I would say a significant number for sure. Starting with LeBron James' celebrity. When Space Jam hit theaters, Michael Jordan was the biggest celebrity in the world, Pitka said. While LeBron is an accomplished athlete and someone who loves to kiss ass when it comes to China and communism and everything else, the truth is that LeBron ain't Michael. Boom. And like I said, that already is the biggest downgrade, the biggest mistake with this film, with this sequel. You can't put anyone on the level of Michael Jordan. Isn't it just crazy? Isn't it just crazy that we lived through a time where Michael Jordan was the biggest celebrity in the world, and then Will Smith was the biggest actor in the world? We lived through that time. And now we live in a crazy time where the narrative has completely changed because everything got out of control. Black Americans were becoming way too successful, and they were losing the powers that be, the establishment, you know, the media, the government, everything else. They were losing the narrative that black Americans are victims. And so they had to reel that back in, and it is disgusting that we are now living at a time where that is the narrative once again. It is disgusting. It's awful. But this is the world that we live in. But Michael Jordan, you can't compare to him, especially LeBron James. Come on, man. Are you kidding me? LeBron James, not even close to his level. Come on. So the truth is that LeBron ain't Michael, and that is indeed the truth. He also said that the movie didn't do enough to connect Space Jam to LeBron's own life the way his original film did, which is a very valid point. That is a valid point. Pitka continued, citing what he considered a far superior cast in Space Jam, which included Charles Barkley and Bill Murray. Come on, you had the classic Bill Murray. You can't, like, what a freaking downgrade A New Legacy is, and called the original soundtrack a classic, while Space Jam A New Legacy soundtrack is insignificant. His harshest criticism is about Bugs Bunny, though. The new version looked like one of those fluffy dolls you buy at an airport gift shop to bring your kid when your business trip has taken too long, Pika said, while the original Space Jam made sure its take on Bugs reflected previous iterations of the character. Exactly. He called Bugs' role in the new film heartbreaking. Yikes. TMZ correctly notes, though, that Pika's Space Jam was panned by critics at the time. Even today, the original has a 44% critic rating and 63% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, while Space Jam A New Legacy hovers around 28% and 81% respectively, suggesting that critics and moviegoers are a bit more divided this time around. Ah, yes, that must be it. That must be it. It is pretty insane that we live in a time where... And this is very evident of just how crappy cinema has gotten and how lazy people are in Hollywood. And it is a real shame. I mean, if you look at these two films back to back and stuff, like, A New Legacy is like I said, it's just a discount ripoff of the first. That's all that it is. It doesn't hold a light to the original, in my opinion. And it's just crazy that is accepted now by people, that people are willing to just accept lazy writing and crappy storytelling and continual reruns and remakes and reboots and crappy sequels to these types of movies. It's awful. So we'll see what happens. I mean, you know, I hope that we will continue to move towards getting better movies and better sequels and everything else. You know, we live in a weird time where we are getting some really, really good movies coming from Hollywood and stuff. You know, like A Quiet Place is an incredible franchise, and that is a great franchise with very successful sequels. John Wick is another example of that. So we're getting things like that. But at the same time, we're also getting a lot of really just awful garbage coming from Hollywood as well. So we're living in a really weird time right now, which is why I think it is important for people to be very selective in the movies that they're going to see and supporting, so that we can actually make a difference once again in entertainment and art, and show and hold people in Hollywood accountable. And show them, we don't want crappy storytelling. We don't want your identity politics. We don't want woke bullshit in our movies. We want you guys to give us good stories. Which I don't know if Hollywood's even capable of that anymore, with how just lost they have become with communism and neo-Marxism and all of this depravity in Hollywood. I don't know if they are even capable of telling just continual good stories. We get bangers every once in a while, but this just might be the state that Hollywood is in from now on, which is why I'm very excited for us to continue to move into a future where independent creators will start to be able to create more films and more series and things like that, and make that more accessible and available to people. We are heading towards that time. And that is really exciting. That is really, really exciting. And I'm looking forward to that because I think that will be a great way to break the mold and kind of the chains that Hollywood has right now on the entertainment industry as a whole. With that being said, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. What do you think about Joe Pika's comments in regards to a Space Jam A New Legacy? Hope you guys enjoy. Make sure you check out The Coldest Water. I promise you won't regret it, and I will talk to you all in another video very soon. Bye.
With my heart's desire.